Alright, it's time to get the 360 videos tours back up and going. Now that I'm starting to get caught up. So we're going to do this lovely tour here. I do apologize for the shakiness, the wind noise, and the other editing things. This is old video from before my computer going out, and I am stuck with that footage. However, it is good and useful information. Enjoy.
Come on in. I've got the heat on. It was cold earlier, but now it's warmed up.
Holy cow, this is big.
Yeah. I'm going to show you. So you and I are about the same height, I think.
Yeah.
Because with shoes on, we're both just about touching.
6'3", but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm 6'3", also.
A truck camper in here, and you can still stand up, and you can crawl right through to your rig. That's really nice.
Actually, the angle fridge there makes it a lot easier to get. Because you kind of just sit down on it and pivot, and then you can slide on forward.
Oh wow, this is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I had them take the rear seats out and throw them away for me at the factory, and then I built that platform. There's a whole bunch of electrical.
It looks clean.
What's really neat about this, the battery bank is behind the rear axle and right down here below the floor. So is the black and gray tank there, and a really big storage area here. It's got a smallish door, but it's got a ton of room. And then over there is the propane, and then of course right underneath here is the 36-gallon fuel tank. So there's low center of gravity.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Now this is a Novacool made in Canada, British Columbia. This is a Danfoss compressor, so a rotary compressor.
Okay.
But it works fine, and what's really neat about it is, check how deep it is. Most of these aren't deep. Look at this. That's how far in I have to put my arm to touch the back with my fingers extended.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Really deep. Tons of room.
Let's see, remind me again what you were saying about the inverter generators.
Oh yeah, heat soak. When you turn them off, make sure there's cool air going in past the inverter module, past the engine fins, and past the exhaust. That way all the heat goes out that way and doesn't come back and cook the inverter module.
Because the heat over time will actually destroy your inverter.
Exactly.
And
electronics don't like that kind of heat.
Yeah, electronics don't like heat in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
And you know about the hybrid inverters, right?
The hybrid inverters? No, I do not. Tell me about the hybrids.
Hybrid inverters, there's only two companies that makes them, Victron and Magnum, and I'm not a big fan of Victron.
Yeah.
Okay? What this will do is, it's called load support. So if I can tell using the controller up there how many amps of shore power I want to pull in. Let's say I have a small generator or a really long extension cord, and it can only support that. So this will, as soon as it sees you're trying to pull more from shore power, it will start going to the batteries and give you up to 3,900 extra watts of power, and it's, it matches its waveform of the incoming. That's the real trick. So, yeah, it's really neat, and because I've got an inverter generator, turning it down to the minimum that this thing will take is 5 amps AC 120. That means that my inverter generator, when in echo mode, will almost never make any noise at all.
Oh wow!
Because it never rev up.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's pretty simple.
And does it control how much solar you come into, or pick either one? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Does it differentiate between solar? Like if you're having more solar and it?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So it's obviously better to play that game when the sun's shining. But
okay.
I mean, if you got enough battery bank or you have enough generator, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Also, I did the math, and this thing is also, the battery bank is also tied via 2-aught cable up to the alternator.
2-aught?
2-aught. Well, that's what it took to have a very low voltage drop.
So
and then, go ahead.
Did you go with the 3% voltage drop, or did you go smaller, or less than 3%?
It's just a tiny bit less than 3%.
Okay, so
for the distance, which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, so also, there are a whole bunch of cigarette lighter plugs and USB chargers and all kinds of crap, but only one of them was going straight to the starting battery. Okay, I had them run from the battery bank down here through a self-resetting relay up to the front a nice 18 gauge Ancor duplex, marine grade wire, all that, to the front, and had it come out underneath the dash. So I snipped the wires that were going from that SIGGI plug, the female SIGGI plug, up to the front battery, and now it's tied to here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have one of those, the male SIGGI plug things that plugs in and gives you a voltage, because you're not pulling any power when you're doing that, except for the absolutely super minuscule amount that the voltmeter uses. That ends up being a good quality sense wire setup. So when I'm driving down the road, I can turn on and off the Blue Sea Systems continuous duty contactor, also named, also known, let's see, not just a contactor, but a relay, another term. Because a lot of times, under hot conditions, if it's been on at 14.4 for a while, you want to turn it off.
Yeah.
Something really weird I found about this particular rig and charging. Chevy, or GM in general, decided what they wanted to do is make this vehicle a semi-hybrid in a very cheesy way.
How do you do that?
Well, it's got two modes. It's got regular drive mode and it's got tow haul mode. When it's in regular drive mode, it'll let the battery drag all the way down to 12.1 volts, okay? And then, as soon as you let off your gas, it goes up to like 14.5. Which is kind of hard on a battery. They're sacrificing the battery.
That's kind of like dropping it down to 50% voltage charge and then
exactly.
allowing it to go full through.
Yeah. So if I'm going to use my alternator to charge the battery bank, I've got to put it in tow haul mode, which makes it shift a little bit harder. It won't go into sixth gear, all these little things. But it won't. Most of the time, it'll stay at 14.4, 14.5, depending on temperature, and then it'll go down to 13.8. My thinking is, they realized, for a tow haul mode and someone's got electric brakes, we better have a decent amount of current going. So that's what I think's happening. So I learned this the hard way.
So they got electric brakes, you say?
A lot of trailers have electric brakes.
Oh, trailers. So I thought you meant your truck had electric brakes.
No,
that's new.
When you're in tow haul mode, I figured that they correctly okay, we can't play this semi-little cheesy hybrid game with the battery. We better keep it at minimum of 13.8 or more.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Oh, cool.
Let's see here.
And bathroom.
Bathroom, and I don't crap in there ever. I line the toilet and use the bags. Hey, it's a lot cleaner than dealing with the black water.
I'm surprised you don't have a Nature's Head or something else like that in there.
Well, the reality is, if I ever go to sell this thing, this is conventional, and it's much easier.
Easier to
sell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to sell it at one point or another?
Who knows? I like it a lot, but I might come up with some other thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll meet the most wonderful partner ever and want to get a bigger rig. Highly unlikely, but maybe.
Possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just impressed with it because it's all integrated on the frame itself.
Yep.
And
it's tied together like no tomorrow. It's actually tied to the cab with these special forms fiberglass.
And yeah, that's cool. How much solar you got on the roof?
This one, only 730.
That's still pretty good.
Back there, I've got 935. They're all LGs. There's 3 back there. It covers the entire roof. Keeps it a little cooler in hot days.
Is your solar system separate from the front and the back, the trailer?
Well, at the moment, yes.
Okay, but you have plans to tie it together?
I can do it anytime I want.
Okay.
Because this will do the load support, and my shore power can be my 1,000 watts on the roof over there. Because there's a 1,000 watt. This used to be in my cargo trailer. There's a 1,000 watt Magnesign inverter in the trailer as well, so I can port that power into here, and then if I need even more boost, it will do that. Or if I want to, I can pull out my 2,000 watt Yamaha and plug it into this thing direct, and boom. This is also a really, really, really good 125 amp charger with a power factor correction of almost 1. Okay, you know how good that is.
That's pretty good.
Because most are more like, most chargers are cheesy, and most of them have a power factor of 0.4 to 0.5 if they're decent. So yeah, you get a lot more power for your charge with a smaller, generator or whatever.
And for the people that's on the YouTube land, how long have you been living in this?
Living in it full time, a couple of months, but I've had it since I picked it up in the end of September of last year.
And do you mind if I ask how much something like this would cost? You don't have to say it if you don't want to. I totally understand that.
Why don't I just say that by the time you're done, if you buy one new and you add on a bunch of things like I did, it's going to be over 130K.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Some people like to know. Some people are just curious about numbers and specs.
But however, you need to also realize that what we're talking about is an Expedition quality vehicle. And all the other ones out there make this thing look cheap. For example, the Unimogs, you know about those, and of course the Mitsubishi Fusos. Okay, those things have reasonable sized tires that are only considered the ground down there, are only this high.
Yeah.
Okay, those are only $1,000. The Unimog, the big Unimogs, those are $2,000 tires that be this high off the ground.
Yeah.
All the way down to the ground. And you can't even change those yourself unless you got help. Yeah. And so these tires are good quality, super nice Michelins that came with it. These are only $220 at Costco.
So let me ask you this: have you taken it really far off grid or off road?
Oh well, I gave it a good proper test when I was coming back from South Carolina. I came back on the southern route, and then I went up, and I went to see my uncle in Hollister, and he has this big field that was recently disked up, and it was pretty moist. I went on and drove around in it. I didn't get stuck. It worked fine. That's as good a test as I've given it. But
yeah,
my theory is when you have something like this, you drive it like a two-wheel drive. And then if you have a problem, you put it in four-wheel drive and you get out.
So it does have four-wheel drive.
Well, technically 6 because there's six tires.
It's true. Technically 6. Well, I'm not really. This is the first rig like yours I've seen, so I didn't know exactly what it was for and why they'd actually integrate it. I know the expeditionary vehicles are usually for farther off-road and exploring places you can't get in a van, bus, or something else. So the four-wheel drive, does it have locking hubs or locking differentials?
It has a locker in the back.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
it comes with a stock locker in the back. However, in my van, I had a Detroit Truth Track, which was the helical style limited slip. And the limited slip worked insanely well with the traction control. The traction control by itself worked kind of sort of okay. But when the two came together, wow, it was amazing. So this is a true locker. It'll truly lock up in certain conditions when you need it to. But I think you're better off using the traction control along with a good limited slip like that. So we'll see after I've given this some proper testing.
Yeah.
I may have that ripped out by the roots and put in a true track. Cost me about $1,500 to do it.
From Oklahoma, we'd ask, have you been mudding yet?
Mudding, yeah.
That would be an Oklahoma term, but I'm kind of curious if you've been mudding yet.
Not in this.
Nah. You think you might?
No.
Okay.
No. I've got a 85 F250 four-wheel drive that was my dad's. I told you about it, right?
Yeah.
And if I want to thrash around, that thing does really well. It's kind of long wheelbase. Tiny bit longer wheelbase than this. This is 147 inches. That one's 155 inches, which was the same as my extended van that I just sold.
Sidetrack note. I'm kind of bounced all over the place.
Sure.
Do you like this size?
Well, here's the thing. I'm a little strange because I'm a big guy and I like small cars, smaller motorcycles, and smaller RVs. It works great for me.
Okay.
I'm not so sure if I could live in here with a partner.
Yeah, this would be a little small for two people. You'd have to be incredibly comfortable with each other.
Yes. Yeah, and very, very... Well, what I would be looking for in a relationship, one of the first things...
But it's a very nice rig and
Thank you.
very simple designed.
It keeps it, small and easy. I actually have a closet.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Hanging storage is nice.
There's a table here that plugs in right here, and the standoff is right over here. I haven't put it up yet, but oh well. It's got an awning out there, but it's too windy out here in the desert to mess with it all.
This question the people are going to want to know is what's your background?
Manufacturing engineering.
Okay.
Oh, there's a really interesting little story about what this thing did. When you have one of these things, everybody walks up to you and wants to talk about it because they've never seen anything like it. Almost never. One person walked up that actually knew what it was. I was shocked. But this thing sold for me my van and my casita trailer to people that just walked up and wanted to talk about this. And the first person walked up, really, really nice gal. She was telling me about how her and her girlfriend wanted to buy a casita trailer. I'm like, I have one of those. I told them a good price for both of us, and they bought it.
So, what is this device called? This rig?
This is it is the company's name is Provan. Anything they make is called a Tiger. This is called the Bengal. The Bengal is the taller.
Okay.
Okay.
Provan Bengal.
Provan company, line Tiger, model Bengal.
Okay. And do you have a name for it? A personal name? Do you name your rig?
Yeah, it's my rig.
Okay.
So, yeah. Do you want to know how it's built?
Sure. I mean,
okay. What it is, they build their own. They reinforce the floor with like 2-inch square tubing to tie and before they tie everything together, they do that, and then they build the coach. The coach is built from the floor up to right about here. You see the line behind you up there? That's the line.
Yeah.
Where the aluminum framing, which is most of it is 1 inch by 2.
Okay.
Rectangular tubing. Okay, that means that everything here, all the way up, all the way around, is all aluminum framing, and then there's aluminum skin on top of that.
Okay.
And then up above, from here on up, it's all fiberglass.
Yeah.
Reinforced underneath with more. You see why we have all this?
Yeah.
Those don't go through the roof. Those go into more aluminum supports.
Is there a reason they do that, particularly? Why they go from aluminum?
And having the fiberglass top means you don't have any seams up there. Plus, what's really neat is all the sealants that they use are 3M. You probably know that 3M has the best sealant engineers in the world. But that's all put on before it's painted. So the paint's put on, and so the sealant lasts super well. There's all that. So, and this normally I'd be able to pull this up and flop it down here, and then I'd have enough room for 2 people to sleep.
Yeah.
But because I have this big inverter there, it has to stay where it is. However, I have quite a bit of storage. You can reach at it that way. You can do this, whatever.
Oh yeah. And how big a water tank is that?
31 gallons.
Well, that ain't bad.
We're talking about 20 or 22 gallons for the gray, 15 or 16 for the black. But I mean, I use them both together now. And like, for example, I've got your standard flush toilet. Problem is, every time, if you pee in it and then you flush it, a lot of water goes down with it.
Yeah.
So I pee into a cat bottle.
Pee cup?
No, this is fine.
Ah, okay.
Pee into this, and then I wait till it's about this full. Then I turn off the pump. Okay, and I open the bore of the thing, and I pour all that down the bore of the thing without getting any in the bowl. And then, just in case, I do a tiny rinse, because that saves a ton of water. And it's not just saving the water; it's also making it go away. You know, you're familiar with that, I'm sure.
Give me just a second. Okay, everyone that's watching, you're watching pretty much. What do you think? It's about 5 foot height.
Yeah, maybe a little bit under, maybe.
So you guys are about 5 foot. I'm gonna bring you up to our height so you kind of know what it feels like. So now you're kind of at our height. So when you're looking around, you can kind of see how tall we are. And I'm actually not hitting my head here, so that's impressive.
Oh, and this is another really neat thing.
Bring you back down to normal height. Hey, that's cool. So you get a...
See, whenever I built beds in the past,
Uh-huh.
I always got hard foam up here and soft foam below to kind of
Yeah.
float you. This is the same thing. It's nice and firm here,
Yeah.
and then you get this, and that keeps you
Did
from having
Did you buy that?
mold
Or?
and stuff. No, this is comes with
Oh, cool.
the build.
So you're not having mold underneath your bed.
Like for example, you may not realize that you don't have to buy a new rig. You can buy an older rig as long as they have the moldings to attach between the cab and this. They can do it for you. Now the
Yeah.
basic build is 90,000
Yeah.
if you provide your own rig.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of stuck with the buses. I like the buses.
oh, and check this out. This is in case I ever get lucky and find a woman that I really want to be with here. But it's kind of nice. Indirect lighting.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, indirect is, I think, better than anything, actually.
And then here, I have the water, the kind of bluish, and the amber. That's the amber up there, so you can mix the two if you're like prepping food and such. And then I put another one of these behind you, over there.
So that's cool. So are those regular 12-volt sliders, or are they the 110-volt sliders?
They're 12 volts.
Okay, so you can get those now, too?
Oh yeah.
See, since I built out my rig, it's been hard.
Things change quick, don't
Yeah, I mean, in about 3 years, everything's gone from not being able to find it to showing it up, and it's like, I'm already built out. What the heck happened?
And I should tell you about these.
Mm-hmm.
These are great because you can, once you get to know these things,
Yeah.
you can go through all the commands, fully program it, do a ton of stuff, and take a look at what different things that you. Okay, it shows you that. Gives you that day's energy off that one. Absorb, float, gives you all kinds of good, temperature of the batteries, all that. And I went with the higher output capable 40 amp controllers, one for each panel, because the panels are 365 watts each above your head there.
So I'm just curious, do you have any, do you ever feel the buzzing from electricity ever? Or anything like that? Do you feel any of the EMF that comes from it?
From this?
Yeah, do you?
No, I can sleep right here. What I often do, because, these long nights, after I've gone out and exercised and it gets dark, and I usually have to do a bunch of exercise just as the sun's going down. It's just beautiful out then. So I come inside and I'll geek out for a while or read the book, and I have two kinds of books. Good books to read for a while, and bad books to put you to sleep. You get one or two pages in.
Yeah.
And so I'll end up sleeping here for usually till about midnight. Then I'll pull down a ladder and I'll go climb up in there and sleep till about 6:30. So I'm getting which is unusual for me, I'm getting like 9 or more hours of sleep these days. And I tell you, it's just a wonderful thing.
Do you find with getting more sleep you're able to remember and concentrate more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Like considerably more.
Yeah. I've noticed out here that I'm significantly more relaxed, and I think that it makes me just much more sharp.
Cool.
So this is an add-on. This is not included in the basic build. It's an aluminous bumper, meaning it's a company that does all aluminum stuff. And it has quite a bit of storage in here, but it also has an opening here, so if I want to put a winch in there.
Okay,
I have my fan because it's two-wheel drive, but I don't think I need it with this. I'm going to go with the heavy-duty sand mats instead.
And off-roading legs?
Yes, well those Those are also really great on the road because they're amber.
So
Fog lights.
this whole thing's, oh, it is. It's aluminum.
That's serious recovery. That's
Yeah.
serious recovery gear capable.
Yeah, it feels like
So-
aluminum.
This is around. This is around. And then this comes with, because there's three locking compartments. One in the middle that you can open. You can move these arms out to get to that. But then there's locking here and locking there. Right here, this goes to a fuel pump. Once I turn on two different switches that are locked away in different places, I can have 3 gallons a minute out of the fuel tank for my motorcycle or my generator.
Yeah, that's nice.
Gasoline.
So you got extra fuel storage in here?
No.
No?
That's to the 36-gallon fuel tank.
So the truck is gasoline?
Yes, exactly. And then
Okay,
if you
cool.
look across, over there, that line right there, the black, is from the propane tank for grill or something.
Oh, cool. So you have external options on here?
Yeah.
And
then there's this. I could also, but it's pointless if you got a trailer. I could also put right here a place for a winch to come.
Oh,
Come
wow.
out.
Nice.
So, but I don't see a reason for it if you're towing. Pointless.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're towing, there's really no point anyhow, but that's a nice rig, though.
Thanks. These windows are really cool because how often do you see? Well, you have some really nice double pane.
Yeah.
You rarely see double pane. These are double pane, and they come out like this. So in inclement weather, no water gets in.
So let me ask you, have you ever thought about doing a bus?
I did. Frankly, I wanted to get away from diesel.